News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Blue Mountain accident victim already identified. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It's Thursday, June 11th, 2015. Another beautiful day in western Montana. Summer's always nice, clear, and 54 degrees in Missoula right now. And our newscast this morning is sponsored by AB Technology Solutions, offering computer repair for homes and small business. Find them online at abtechnologysolutions.com. It took just a few hours for the Missoula County coroner to release the victim's name after Wednesday night's fatal accident off a Forest Service road that sent a vehicle plummeting 300 feet down an embankment. Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Brenda Bassett has these details.
The Missoula County coroner released the name of the woman who died in last night's crash on Blue Mountain Road. Her name is Crystal Hodges. She's 35 years old in Missoula, and we just want to send our thoughts and prayers to their family right now going through this really tough time.
Bassett also took time to thank the other agencies involved in a hazardous rope rescue operation for the other two passengers.
Because of where this accident happened, it was off a 300-feet cliff, and it was really difficult to access, and we just want to thank the agencies that assisted us in this, Missoula Search and Rescue, Missoula Rural Fire, and Montana Highway Patrol. So they're just an outstanding group, and we're really lucky to have them.
Investigating Highway Patrol Trooper Philip Navarro said speed and alcohol may have played a part in that fatal accident. Glacier County authorities have identified the three people who were killed in a single-vehicle rollover crash near Babb, just east of Glacier Park. The sheriff's office says the crash at 8:30 Monday night killed 31-year-old Elizabeth Chavez, 29-year-old Simon Chavez, and 5-year-old Christian Chavez. A 2-year-old girl was treated for minor injuries, and a 1-year-old boy was hospitalized in critical condition. The Highway Patrol said 4 of the 5 passengers were ejected. The 3 victims were not wearing seatbelts, and the 1-year-old was in a car seat that was not properly fastened into the vehicle. The victims had been living in the Babb area. 21-year-old Jesse Durham appeared in Missoula Justice Court yesterday, accused of beating the family dog so severely that she had to be euthanized. Durham appeared via video from the county jail wearing a vest specially designed to keep him from harming himself. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Celine Kepke asked Judge Karen Orzek for $25,000 bail with special circumstances.
The state would like it to be known that we are supportive of figuring out a release plan in this case. Should the defendant bond out, we ask that he be placed immediately into pretrial supervision with GPS and alcohol and drug monitoring.
Kepke informed the judge that Durham could not be sent home if released because the victim lives at his residence.
This defendant has some issues that we're looking into getting evaluated. He has no criminal history, but this was, as you know, a very violent and scary offense, and he was living with the victim at the time, so we really can't go home at this point without supervision and services in place.
He is charged with felony cruelty to animals along with misdemeanor counts of partner or family member assault, criminal mischief, and obstructing a police officer. Judge Orzek placed Durham in jail on $25,000 bond. You can read the affidavit of probable cause on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. The daughter of the man police hold responsible for Sunday's murder-suicide in a Montana log cabin says her father was in denial about having mental health problems. Starla Shannon said she's convinced her father, Augustine Mike Borns, had an undiagnosed mental illness that turned dangerous. Police say Borns killed his wife and 3 young children before setting fire to their cabin and killing himself. Shannon defended her father yesterday as someone who loved his family even though he had cut off all communication. The Environmental Protection Agency recently wrapped up a 4-year study on the effects of fracking on groundwater, according to Montana Petroleum Association Director Dave Galt. The findings are good news for his industry.
They confirmed what industry's been saying all along, is that there's not a significant threat to hydraulic fracturing with our water supplies, and that is, again, validated by the EPA. This, I believe, is the 3rd time that they've looked at it, and this study was a lot more comprehensive. So I think that's frankly good news for the oil and gas industry in America.
Galt says he doubts that these findings will give the fracking industry much relief, though, from environmental litigation.
I hope it does, but, people that run environmental organizations run on fear, so I'm not entirely sure that will or won't. I think and I hope that as prices come up a little bit and stabilize, that we'll see things in Montana pick up again, and that certainly is what I'd like to see.
Montana has had 0 large drill rigs running since April. Galt says that's still the case as of yesterday, but that he's hopeful that will turn around in the near future. A Great Falls man accused of stabbing a police officer in the leg has changed his plea. The Great Falls Tribune reports 34-year-old Jason Corbett pleaded guilty to 1 count of assault on a peace officer as part of a plea deal on Tuesday. A police report states officers forced their way into Corbett's home after he had been threatened to kill his wife and child. Corbett admitted to swinging his knife and making contact with Officer Anthony Munkris's thigh. The agreement states that Corbett had been suffering from a mental illness during the incident, but not to the point that a mental disease or defect defense would apply. School may be out for the summer, but parents of school-age kids need to know Montana's immunization rules have changed. State communicable disease epidemiologist Jim Murphy explains.
Starting October 1st, 2015, school-aged children will be required to have the varicella or chickenpox series, and older students, basically starting at middle school, will be required to have the pertussis booster shot, what's commonly called Tdap.
Murphy says Montana's a late adopter when it comes to immunization rules.
We're very excited because for the first time in quite some time, we've updated school immunization requirements. Really, we're catching up with the rest of the nation in some respects. For instance, we were the last state in the United States to make varicella a requirement, and we were one of 5 that did not require the Tdap booster shot for pertussis.
Although these rules are new, Murphy says about half of Montana students already have these vaccinations, and that the problem for most will be getting the proper paperwork. A Montana man on probation for running a scam involving fake children's programs is being investigated for allegations of raising money for a fake documentary as well. Montana Securities Commissioner Monica Lindine's office says the investigation into Matthew McClintock began after a firm McClintock hired to find investors began to suspect the film was a fraud. A statement from Lindine's office says McClintock told investors the documentary was about early Montana cowboys. It would be narrated by Clint Eastwood. District Judge Mike Menahan last month ordered McClintock to stop soliciting investments temporarily. He's on probation after pleading guilty in 2010 in a money-raising scam in which he said he was working to build a ranch for underprivileged children. McClintock does not have a phone listing under his name. Our News Talk time now is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Ample sunshine today with our high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Mostly clear tonight with our lows in the low 50s. Windy conditions are expected Friday with our highs in the mid 70s. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for Missoula's KECI 13.
Clear